Prediction means you speak it before it's going to happen. It's a forecast. It's like the weather. It's going to be summer. It's going to be hotter this year, this season. There's La Nina and El Nino and stuff like that. There's warming and cooling trends. So it's more like a trend. And that's why I see that we are in a depression. We still got a lot way more to go, but we've got to bottom out everything. Then that's when the thing will be taking off. And then back to the banks and their what they do for the loans is like we talked about how they just write numbers in it, but they got to get you as a customer. So years ago, they would buy toasters and wall clocks and have them in the bank, and they would get you to open an account by giving you this toaster. It was a big deal back in the 50s and 60s. Now, one time in the newspaper, it said, come into our bank and deposit $25 and we'll keep it there for 90 days and we'll match it. Well, what did I do? I took my $25, put it into my savings account, waited 91 days, went into the bank, took my 25 and the bank's 25. So I had $50 when I walked out and I closed the account. Now, let me ask you a question. Was that illegal or did I rip the bank off?
Um, I would say you ripped the bank off. Yeah.
Okay, you would say I ripped the bank off. But the bank said if you come in and deposit it for 90 days, on day 91, I took my money and walked out. Well, is that immoral?
Yeah.
Some people would say, yes, it's immoral. I don't think it's immoral at all because the bank said, do this. I did it. They paid me and I walked out. So I enriched. So in my show notes, the fourth link, there's a guy on YouTube that says, do this. I've made $361 so far. I'm saying that's nothing. The banks gave you a $500 credit card to get you to be a customer. So when that card came, you didn't fill out a loan document. It's not a loan. You don't owe them anything. And they sent you a gift card to get you to be a customer. So what did you do with a gift card? You bought something with it. Okay. So you got a bill at the end of the month. It's not a bill. You have a normal checking account. You get a statement every month. It's not a bill. It shows you what you started with, your deposits, your checks, your debits, and the ending balance. Same thing with your bank issued alleged credit card statement. It's not a bill, but you're a good person. You think you're doing the right thing. It's immoral to rip the bank off. So you write a check for $500 and give it to the bank. Once you did that, you loaned the bank money. Now, most people don't understand this, and that's in the show notes, the very first link. Banks are only about loans. They don't do offer you goods and services. So they can't ever have issued you a credit card. They can give you a loan. So if you go in with no money, you come out with a loan. Okay. But when you put money into the bank, you're actually loaning the bank money. And in that show note on the first link, it says that banks cannot take a depositor's money and loan it out to somebody else. That's illegal. So what they do is you are depositing money into your account and that is your money. So every purchase you've made with your credit card has been with your own money. So the banks do this because they make $23.04 every month on average. So type it up. What's the average person pay on credit card fees? It's $23. So if a bank has a million card members, they're bringing in $23 million a month. And what they're doing is making that money off of a free checking account. So they're getting you to deposit money and then you use it because it's your money, but now they charge you interest. So by sending a letter to the bank, asking them to close the account associated with that card, you walk away. And it's not getting out of debt. You're closing your checking account.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. You made me feel a little bit better about the whole thing. Before I was like, you're stealing from them. Yeah, but yeah.
Ask the audience, am I stealing if the bank says do this and I conform to their terms and conditions and I get the benefit? Did I rip the bank off? You might say yes. Okay. That's called a Stockholm syndrome where you adopt the viewpoint of the criminal, you adopt the person who's abducted you. So you do your own association. So a lot of people are brainwashed and they will do anything to defend the banks, which is fine. That's okay. So this is another way of just asking a question, is that immoral? And some people say, yes, that's fine. But if the bank is a criminal, then you're a victim. That's just my point of view.
You're shattering my reality a little bit here. Isn't there a
No one had
quote?
ever thought of this.
Isn't there a quote that goes the what was it again? History is made by those who won the war. Basically, if you're in power, what you're doing is the right thing. You know, like they made it seem like it's the right thing because you're in power. You can write the rules, so you're gonna protect
They're in
yourself.
power.
Yeah. I don't know if I guess this applied to banks as well. They have a bunch of money. You said that it's a lie that has been perpetuated throughout the generations. So at some point, it's just become reality.
Right. You
Yeah.
believe it, that's fine. Now, you're blackballed, right? You're never going to get a credit card because you have to have a credit card. Well, when the wife said, get out, take the dog with you, I did a vow of poverty and I didn't have a house. I still don't have one. That's fine. But I didn't have a credit score and a credit report. So I knew I was coming to the Philippines. And you're right. You have to have a credit card to book an airline. And I had to have a credit card to have a rental car. A debit card's not going to work. So what I did is I applied to Capital One for a $500 credit card, and they gave me, that's the important word, is they gave me a $500 credit card without a score and without a credit report.
It's
Now,
wonderful.
how to do that? I was a previous customer. So they had me in the system from like 15 years prior that I was a good customer. That's one of the banks I sued for 35,000. So they will give you a credit card. So I'm trying to tell the audience is that it's not getting out of debt. Close your free checking account. You don't have to pay any more fees and then turn right around and apply for a credit card. This time, do not get one with an annual fee because you're not going to pay them anything. And if you ever buy anything, you understand it's a game. I'm telling you, this is what's happening. It's your money when you send it in, but whenever you buy something, have the money to pay for it. Because what you're trying to do is have that convenience of being able to book an airline ticket or rent a car and also raise your credit score. So by using 10% every month and paying it off, never carry a balance, it will cost you nothing, but you do run the risk if what they would say is they're going to lower your credit limit. No, what they did is they confiscated, they stole money from your account. So if you're willing to risk that, then go right ahead. But at least you have your eyes wide open.
Mm.
So people that have 100,000, $1 million of bank issued alleged credit card debt, it just takes a little click off the credit report and a letter to the bank, and that's all you need.
All right. Well, thank you for the information. Um, in the U.S., the credit score is managed by the government, right?
No,
No.
there's three big ones. There's about 900 different credit reporting agencies, but they're all owned primarily by the three. And I suspect the banks are owning them because it's to the bank's advantage to have all these errors on the report and to have low credit score because then that's a higher interest rate. So there are three: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And they're the ones that have these errors on your credit report. So if the bank doesn't remove it off your credit report, all I do is I send a letter to the credit reporting agency showing how it's a fraud. We've already filed basically police complaints about this to the federal and state agencies. So we have that evidence that we have complained about the fraud and we lay the whole thing out and they will remove it off your credit report.
Damn. Whew. All right. So you're gonna go to the bank right now, take all my money in cash, buy gold, Bitcoin. All right.
Yeah,
Tell me, there's a lot to unpack there. Hopefully, the listeners were able to get some golden information from all of that. I'd like to thank you so much, and ask
sure.
he as we agreed, I would like to ask you if you have any book, any link that you'd like to promote.
Sure. It's called Forgive and Forget. So, what it's doing is the bank is going to forgive you, asking for forgiveness from you for the crimes they've committed, and you can forget about it. How to nuke your credit card debt. And that's available on Amazon, sold worldwide. But I also offer